Every morning the sun rises in silent defiance, Indiana indifferent to praise or scorn, just as we must rise, unshaken by the world's opinions. But how many of us wake up truly alive, truly driven, truly aware of our own potential? Life isn't measured by the number of days we exist, but by the intensity with which we embrace each moment. Are you merely drifting, waiting for the perfect time, or are you shaping your reality with deliberate action? The ancient Stoics knew the truth. Greatness isn't granted, it's forged in discipline, in silence, in the quiet battles we fight within. Today, I will share with you 9 timeless principles, profound, yet practical, that will sharpen your mind, fortify your spirit, and empower you to command your destiny. But before we begin, I want you to commit to this journey. Comment below, "I shape my reality." Let this be your first step in taking ownership of your life. Now, let's begin. 1. I am capable. There are moments in life when doubt creeps in like a slow-moving fog, obscuring our vision, making even the simplest tasks feel insurmountable. We question our worth, our strength, our ability to rise above circumstances. But here's the truth. The Stoics understood, well, your capability is not defined by fleeting emotions or external validation. It is an unshackable force that exists within you, waiting to be claimed. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers, ruled an empire through plagues, wars, and betrayal. He did not have the luxury of self-doubt. Instead, he reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Strength is not about knowing the outcome. It is about knowing that, whatever the outcome, you will endure. The world often measures capability by external achievements, titles, wealth, recognition, but a Stoic sees beyond these illusions. True capability is forged in private battles, in silent resilience, in the moments when no one is watching. It is in the single mother working tirelessly to build a better future for her child. It is in the young entrepreneur facing rejection after rejection, but refusing to quit. It is in the person who, despite failure, stands back up, wipes off the dust, and takes another step forward. Think about the last time you told yourself, "I can't." What stopped you? Was it the challenge itself? Was it the story you told yourself about that challenge? The Stoics teach us that our power lies not in controlling the world, but in controlling our response to it. Epictetus, once a slave, became one of the greatest philosophers of his time, not because the world handed him an easy path, but because he refused to surrender his mind to despair. "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" he asked. So, I ask you, how long will you wait before you recognize your own capability? Before you stop seeking permission to be strong? The obstacles you face today are not barriers. They are the fire that will forge your strength. Each time you rise above fear, push through discomfort, or silence self-doubt, you are proving to yourself that you are far more capable than you once believed. Remind yourself daily, "I am capable." Say it not as a mere affirmation, but as a declaration of war against every excuse, every hesitation, every whisper of self-doubt. Live as if it were already true, because it is. 2. I shape my reality. Life does not hand us, meaning it waits for us to create it. The circumstances we are born into, the challenges we face, The setbacks that knock us down, none of these dictate who we are. What truly defines us is how we choose to respond. The world will try to convince you that you are at its mercy, that you are bound by fate, by luck, by the expectations of others. But the Stoics knew better. Epictetus, born into slavery, could have resigned himself to a life of servitude. He had no wealth, no status, no control over his external world. And yet, he understood one fundamental truth. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them. He refused to let his chains define him. Instead, he shaped his reality from within, sharpening his mind, mastering his emotions, turning adversity into wisdom. He became one of the greatest philosophers of his time, not because the world changed for him, but because he changed the way he engaged with the world. How often do we wait for the right moment to take action? We tell ourselves we will be happy when circumstances improve, when people treat us differently, when life becomes easier. But a Stoic does not weigh the acts. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire through war and plague, did not lament his burdens. Instead, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your thoughts shape your world. If you believe you are powerless, you will act as if you are. If you see obstacles as barriers, they will stop you. But if you view them as stepping stones, as tests of character, as opportunities to grow, then every hardship becomes a lesson, every challenge a tool for transformation." Consider the life of someone who refuses to take responsibility for their reality. They blame circumstances, bad luck, other people. They wait for change instead of creating it. Now think of someone who shapes their world intentionally. They set goals, take action, and adapt when things don't go as planned. They understand that while they may not control everything, they always control their response. Which person do you want to be? Every morning, you are given a choice to passively drift through life or to take control. Will you be the sculptor of your destiny or the byproduct of circumstance? The world is neither for you nor against you, it simply is. It is up to you to decide what you will make of it. So, remind yourself, I shape my reality, not by wishing, not by waiting, but by acting. 3. My path is clear. There are days when the road ahead feels like an endless maze, uncertain, clouded by fear, littered with obstacles. You may find yourself standing at a crossroads, paralyzed by doubt, wondering which direction to take. But here's what the Stoics understood. The path is not something you wait to appear, it is something you create with each step you take. Marcus Aurelius faced constant war, betrayal, and political turmoil. Yet in his meditations he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacles in your life are not roadblocks. They are the road itself. They do not prevent you from moving forward. They are the very terrain you must traverse to grow. How often do we tell ourselves, "I don't know what to do," or "I need a sign"? We wait for certainty before we act, hoping for a perfect moment of clarity. But a Stoic does not wait the moves. Clarity is not something granted to you, it is something forged through action. The moment you take the first step, the fog begins to lift. The next step becomes clearer, and then the next. Imagine a traveler lost in a dense forest. He stands still, overwhelmed, unsure which way leads to safety. But if he picks a direction and walks, he learns. He sees patterns in the landscape. He adjusts his course. He finds his way not by standing still, but by moving. Life works the same way. Seneca reminds us, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. Your path is clear, not because it is free of difficulty, but because you have chosen to walk it with purpose. There will be detours. There will be moments of struggle. But each challenge refines you, teaching you what is essential and what is not. If you feel lost, ask yourself, what is within my control? What action, however small, can I take today? Do not wait for permission, for certainty, for the perfect conditions. The perfect time is always now. Your path is not ahead of you, it is beneath your feet. Walk forward, and it will unfold. 4. I grow stronger daily. Strength is not built in a moment of triumph, it is forged in the quiet, unseen battles of everyday life. The days when you feel drained, the moments when doubt whispers in your ear, the times when failure seems to outweigh progress, these are the proving grounds of resilience. A tree does not grow tall overnight. It withstands storms, bends with the wind, yet roots itself deeper with each passing season. You are no different. Every challenge you face, every hardship you endure, is another ring in the trunk of your existence, evidence that you are not the same as you were yesterday. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus, born a slave, had every reason to see himself as powerless, but instead of succumbing to his circumstances, he embraced them as his training ground. He wrote, "Difficulties are what show men's character. Therefore, when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler. The greater the trial, the greater your strength. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly struggled? Did you let it break you, or did you let it shape you?" Strength is not found in avoidance. It is found in engagement. It is built when you face discomfort, when you push beyond excuses, when you rise after falling. Marcus Aurelius ruled through war, plague, and betrayal. He had no guarantees, no easy road. Yet every night he reflected on his challenges, writing, "What stands in the way becomes the way." He did not ask for life to be easier, asked for the strength to meet it as it was. The same is true for you. You do not grow by waiting for life to be kind. You grow by standing firm in its chase, by taking one step forward, no matter how small. You may not see the change immediately, but that does not mean it isn't happening. Remember this: strength is not a destination, it is a practice. Each day you sharpen your mind, fortify your spirit, and become someone your past self would admire. Keep going. You are already stronger than you were yesterday, and tomorrow you will be stronger still. 5. I commit to excellence. Excellence is not a gift. It is not reserved for the lucky, the privileged, or the naturally talented. Excellence is a commitment, a relentless pursuit of mastery, a refusal to settle for mediocrity, a quiet discipline that turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world at his time, did not wake up and simply become a great leader. He worked at it. He studied, reflected, and demanded more from himself every day. In meditations, he reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Excellence is not a theory, it is action. But what does commitment to excellence really look like? It is not about perfection, it is about intention. It is in the way you speak, the way you think, the way you approach even the smallest of tasks. Seneca wrote, "Well-being is attained little by little, and nevertheless is no little thing itself." Greatness is built in the details, in the decision to do something right, even when no one is watching. Think about an athlete training before sunrise, a craftsman refining his work long after others have gone home, a scholar reading beyond what is required. They are not motivated by applause or recognition, but by something deeper, the inner standard they have set for themselves. Excellence is a personal code, a way of life. Ask yourself, how do you approach your own life? Do you give your best only when you feel motivated, or do you hold yourself to a higher standard, even in the smallest moments? The way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you cut corners in one place, it becomes easier to do the same elsewhere. The world will try to convince you that mediocrity is acceptable, that effort beyond the necessary is wasted. But a Stoic knows better. Excellence is not about impressing others, it is about self-respect. It is about becoming the kind of person you can admire. So today, Colorado MMIT not to being the best in the world, but to being the best you can be, to striving, refining, improving. Excellence is not a destination, it is a daily practice. Reward is not in what you achieve, it is in who you become. 6. Excuses do not define me. Excuses are the chains we place upon ourselves, comforting, familiar, but ultimately restrictive. They are the quiet whispers of hesitation, the seductive voice that says, "Not today, not yet, maybe later." But what are excuses really? They are stories we tell ourselves to justify inaction, to shield ourselves from discomfort, to delay the work that must be done. The Stoics did not entertain excuses. They knew that every moment spent explaining why something could not be done was a moment stolen from doing it. Epictetus, who was born into slavery and later became a philosopher, had every reason to complain, every reason to say life was unfair. But he refused to be defined by circumstance. He taught, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about your own life. How many times have you let an excuse dictate your path? I don't have time. I'm not ready. It's too difficult. But is it really time you lack? Is it discipline? Is it truly that you are unprepared or that you fear failure? The truth is, every excuse is a mask for something deeper. Fear, doubt, or resistance to the discomfort of growth. Marcus Aurelius, a man who carried the weight of an empire, had endless reasons to succumb to fatigue, to resentment, to self-pity, but he did not. Instead, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He did not let circumstances dictate his action, she acted despite them. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path is filled with excuses, leading to a life of hesitation and regret. The other is steep, challenging, Delaware-manding, but it is the path of action, of resilience, of progress. Choose. Today, strip yourself of the weight of excuses. See them for what they are, self-imposed barriers. You are not defined by limitations, but by what you do in spite of them. The time will never be perfect, the conditions will never be ideal, but action, not excuses, is what shapes your destiny. So move forward, not tomorrow, not later, no. 7. I am designed for greatness. You were not placed here by accident. You were not meant to drift through life, unseen, unheard, unfulfilled. Within you lies a force-excellent, steady Washington-iting. It is the fire of potential, the undeniable truth that you are capable of more, meant for more. But the question is, will you claim it? The Stoics never spoke of destiny as something preordained, something handed to the fortunate. No, they believed that greatness is not found, it is forged. It is carved out of discipline, built through action, refined in struggle. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." The obstacles you face are not signs that you are unworthy, they are tests, shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Think of a blade. It does not begin as a masterpiece. It starts as raw metal, roof, unshaped. Only through fire and hammer, through pressure and precision, does it transform into something sharp, something strong, something worthy. You are no different. Every setback, every hardship, every moment of doubt is another strike of the hammer, another step in your refinement. But too many people live as if they are powerless, waiting for the world to tell them their worth. They shrink in the face of adversity, mistaking struggle for failure. Marcus Aurelius, a man who carried the weight of an empire, never allowed himself that luxury. In the depths of war, betrayal, and suffering, he reminded himself daily, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. You are only as small as the limits you accept. So, ask yourself, what if you stopped waiting? What if you stopped seeking permission to be great? What if you embraced every challenge as proof that you are becoming stronger? You are not here to exist. You are here to shape, to build, to grow, to leave something behind that was not there before. You are here to step into the highest version of yourself, not someday, not when the time feels right, but now. Greatness is not an inheritance. It is a choice, and it is one you must make every single day. 8. External opinions do not sway me. The world is loud. Everywhere you turn, someone has an opinion about who you should be, what you should do, how you should live. Approval and criticism flow freely, often from those who have never walked your path, never carried your burdens. But here is a truth the Stoics understood well. External voices hold no power unless you hand it to them. Epictetus, once a slave, later a great philosopher, knew this deeply. He said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Why? Because when you choose growth, when you step beyond the expectations of others, there will always be those who resist, who judge, who misunderstand. But their words do not define your worth, your actions do. Think of a mountain standing against the wind. The gusts may howl, the storms may rage, but the mountain remains unmoved. This is the mindset of one who refuses to be ruled by external judgment. Marcus Aurelius, leading Rome through chaos, betrayal, and war, never sought approval. Instead, he wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. How much of your life has been shaped by fear of what others might think? How many dreams have you delayed? How many truths have you silenced just to avoid criticism? But ask yourself, do the opinions of those who do not live your life deserve to dictate your choices? A Stoic moves through the world with quiet conviction. He does not ignore wisdom, but he discerns the difference between wisdom and noise. He listens, but he does not bend to please the crowd. He walks his path, knowing that praise and criticism alike are fleeting, that the only judgment that matters is the one he casts upon himself. Today, free yourself. You were not made to live according to the shifting approval of others. You were made to walk your own road, with purpose, with courage, with unwavering resolve. Let the world speak as it will, you remain steady. 9. I embrace the present moment. The past weighs heavy. The future looms uncertain. Between them lies a fleeting space, the present moment. Yet, how often do we truly live in it? How often do we let go of yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's anxieties to exist fully, Colorado completely now? The Stoics understood that life is not found in memories or predictions, but in this very breath, this very action. Marcus Aurelius, burdened by the weight of an empire, still found clarity in a single truth. Confine yourself to the present. He knew that the mind, left untamed, drifts between what was and what might be, stealing peace from what is. How much time have you lost to the past, replaying mistakes, clinging to what can no longer be changed? And how much energy have you wasted fearing the future, worrying over possibilities that may never come to pass? But here is the truth. The past is untouchable, the future unknowable. The only moment that is yours is this one. Seneca warned, "You are afraid of dying." But how is this life of yours anything but death? He was not speaking of physical death, but of the slow, unnoticed death of presence, the death that comes from living anywhere but here. Consider this. A man sits by the ocean, but instead of feeling the breeze, hearing the waves, or tasting the salt in the air, his mind is elsewhere. He is lost in thoughts of a past he cannot change, a future he cannot predict. He is alive, yet he does not live. Now imagine another man in the same place. He feels the wind on his skin, watches the water move, breathes deeply and fully. He does not dwell on yesterday or chase tomorrow. He simply is. Who is truly alive? To embrace the present is to reclaim your life from distraction. It is to meet every challenge with focus, every joy with gratitude, every hardship with acceptance. It is to understand, as Epictetus did, that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. So, release what is gone. Stop chasing what has yet to come. Stand in this moment not as a prisoner of time, but as its master. Right here, right now is where life happens. Be present, be alive. Life is not something that happens to you, 'tis something you shape, something you build with every thought, every action, every moment of discipline. The Stoics knew this. Strength is not given, it is earned. Clarity is not found, it is created. Growth is not passive, it is intentional. You are capable. You shape your reality. Your path is clear. You grow stronger daily. You commit to excellence. Excuses do not define you. You are designed for greatness. External opinions do not sway you. And above all, you embrace the present moment. Now the question is, will you just hear these words, or will you live them? The time to act is not tomorrow, not someday, it is now. Let today be the day you move with purpose, with conviction, with the unwavering knowledge that you are in control of your life. If this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments what is the one principle you will embody starting today. And if you're ready to go deeper into the Stoic mindset, check out the next video on your screen. Until next time, stay strong, stay present, and keep walking your path.